Hi, everyone. I am Colleen Robledo Green, and this is the inaugural video in my new video series titled Genealogy Quick Tips. Today's quick tip focuses on traditional surname conventions for married women in Mexico and the rest of Latin America. Understanding these conventions is critical for finding records as well as confirming identity and kinship. So let's get started.
The first point I want to make is that generally and historically, married women in Spanish-speaking countries do not legally take their husband's surname upon marriage. For genealogists, this is one of the great things about Hispanic naming conventions. Women keep their own surnames after marriage. For your non-Hispanic lines, think about how many female ancestors for whom you are still trying to identify a maiden name. To explain this visually, I want to introduce you to my great-grandparents. This is my great-grandmother, Maria Nieto, and my great-grandfather, Jose Robledo, both from the state of San Luis Potosí, Mexico. When they married in Mexico in 1908, Maria kept her surname Nieto. She did not become Maria Robledo. Now, in the early 20th century or thereabouts, we started seeing married women append their husband's surname to their own using the preposition de, which means of. So, my great-grandmother would also at times identify her name as Maria Nieto de Robledo. The second point I want to make involves how married women from Spanish-speaking countries tend to appear in border arrival records when crossing from Mexico into the United States. U.S. border arrival records are one of the most common sources on which we find our 20th century Mexican ancestors. However, people from other countries entered the United States via that land border as well, including people from other Spanish-speaking countries. In these records, we usually find married Mexican and Hispanic women under their own surname rather than their husband's name. On the left, we see the 1915 border manifest card for my great-grandmother Maria Nieto, whom we just met. She was married to Jose Robledo at the time. On the right, we see the longer 1919 border manifest sheet for her mother, my second great-grandmother, Aurelia Combean, then the widow of Refugio Nieto. A third point involves children, because of how surnames are passed down, which we will discuss in our next quick tip. Children usually appear in U.S. border arrival records under a different surname than their mothers. Here we again see the border crossing records for my great-grandmother and second great-grandmother. The record for my great-grandmother Maria Nieto on the left indicates that she was accompanied by her baby, a son named Refugio Robledo. The record for my second great-grandmother, Aurelia Combean, on the right, indicates that Aurelia intended to reside with her son Roque Nieto in Long Beach, California. In both cases, the children are identified under a different surname than the one their mother is recorded under. Our fourth and final point focuses on U.S. records after the women have settled and started living in the United States. Once living in the U.S., we generally see Mexican and Hispanic married women follow the traditional U.S. custom of taking on their husband's surname. Here we see my great-grandparents Maria Nieto and Jose Robledo and their three oldest children on the 1920 U.S. federal census. My great-grandmother Maria is now recorded using her husband's surname of Robledo. If we consult other historical U.S. documents, like other censuses, city directories, vital records, newspapers, etc., Maria continues to be identified under her husband's surname of Robledo unless the record specifically asks for a maiden name. Now, we of course always encounter exceptions, but what we have covered in this quick tip tutorial is a good rule of thumb to follow when researching and particularly when searching for your married female ancestors and relatives from the Spanish-speaking world. Thank you for your time and attention today. If you have comments or questions, you are welcome to post those here on this YouTube page or visit my blog and post them there.